got everything she needs. She's an artist, she don't look back. She's got everything.
I'm super excited, guys. I have almost 3 pounds of Borderluster fleece that I got from Vermont this summer. And I'm going to go process at the mill today. Yay! There it is. It's huge. I'm not really sure how much yarn I'll get out of it yet, but we'll see.
You will start out standing, proud to steal her anything she sees. You will start out standing, proud to steal her anything she sees. But you will wind up peeking through her keyhole down upon your knee. She never stumbles, she got no place to fall.
This is the Central Virginia Fiber Mill, located in,
She never stumbles, she got no
oh gosh, where is
place
it?
to fall.
Well, it's in Virginia, and it takes me about an hour and a half to get there.
Nobody's child.
It's run by a really lovely woman named Mary, and she has 3 dogs, none of whom I'm ever really able to remember the names of. The noise of the mill is loud once all of the machines are going, but after a while it becomes a sort of white noise that you don't notice as much, and you drift into your internal thoughts, which can be somewhat calming and meditative. So there's a couple of steps to processing a raw fleece, as I'm sure you can imagine. And so I'm going to do my best to explain the ones I've learned in the way that I've learned them in this video. First, you have to do what is called skirting the fleece. This entails laying the whole fleece out on a screen and picking out any obvious dirt, vegetable matter, second clippings, which are pieces that are too short to spin with, and any wool that appears overly damaged and dreaded. We're also fluffing up the wool so that it can be washed more thoroughly and, eventually, carded more easily as well.
Bow down to her on Sunday, salute her when her birthday comes. Bow down to her on Sunday, salute her when her
Next, you
birthday
have to wash the fleece. When I do this on a smaller scale at home, I use Dawn dish soap, which is great for getting out the lanolin that is sheep's natural oil, which is greasy in nature but actually is used in a lot of our lotions. I also have used Eucalyptus, which is a lovely smelling wool wash. I say lovely too much. But it's a really great wool wash that works great, though it is a little bit more expensive. At the mill, Mary uses a special wool wash that she buys in bulk. So after the wool has been washed in the sink, you put it through the spin cycle in a washing machine to shake out any extra water, and then it's laid out on screens outside to dry in the sun. Of course, you have to have a good day for this, so cross your fingers and toes and all that good stuff for that. Otherwise, it delays the process a little bit. You can dry it inside, but it's definitely faster if you're able to do it out in the sunshine and the fresh air.
They look spicy. They look spicy. And now I want Mexican food. Even more, if that's possible, than I did 2 minutes ago. What a beautiful garden.
You wrote the kiss and it is beautiful. I can listen again and again. You never really got a break from the car wrecks and the pain. You love the sons of the pioneers and the Hollywood cowboy stars. You were just trying to put a hand to where we are.
After your fleece has dried, which can take a day or two depending on humidity and that sort of thing, you put it through the picker. And the picker has big spinning tines like an oversized fork that fluffs up the wool and throws it into this little closet to be collected for the carder. After your fleece has been put through the picker, it's time for the carder. And the carder is a second machine that takes the wool and turns it into roving, which is often what spinners buy to spin into yarn.
You never talked about your past, about the drugs and walking in the streets. They found you with a needle in your arm, beloved books strewn round at your feet. You love the sons of the pioneers and the Hollywood cowboy stars. You were just trying to put a hand to where we are. You love the sons of the pioneers and the Hollywood cowboy stars. You were just trying to put a hand to where we are. Where we are. Where we are. Where we
the picker, and that took almost an hour for almost a 3-pound fleece. And Emily is already over here helping me put it through the carder. So that's like the first half of it, and then the last half is finishing up. And it'll be in that closet, and I'll get it out in a second. There goes the last of it. Through the picker. Oops, I did that out of order. Don't tell Mary. Ta-da! Look at that. Crazy. That's still only half of it. You have to make sure as you're laying the wool on the conveyor belt to not lay it on too thick, because the machine needs ample room and time to produce as smooth a roving as possible.
I feel like I'm on an episode of Mr. Rogers right now. Did anyone watch that as a kid? No? You go through all those processes of how like VHS tapes were made, factories, all that. To see? Cool. Okay.
Next comes the pin drafter. You could actually have the carder be your last step if you're a hand spinner and you want to spin chunky yarn, or if you don't mind taking the time to split your roving if you're going to spin a thinner yarn. However, if you do want to spin a thinner yarn and you don't want to take the time to split your roving, or if you aren't a hand spinner and want the mill to spin the yarn for you using their machines, you would put your roving through the pin drafter, which is what I decided to do. Essentially, this just thins out and elongates your roving even more and makes it a lot easier to spin with. After that, you're finished and you're ready to go spin some yarn. And I have a little note to myself here to insert Snapchat videos. So that's probably what you're looking at right now. But yeah, this whole process took 2 visits to the mill to execute, with each visit to the mill being about a 3-hour drive for me round trip, and then roughly a total of 10 to 12 hours working at the mill for both of those visits combined, which actually did not include Mary's time washing my fleece after we left and monitoring its drying and that sort of thing. It also does not include by any means my travel time to Vermont to pick out my fleece. My fleece was from Michael at Hampton Fiber Mill, and it was a leftover from a fleece sale that he had, and it actually cost only $12, which was a steal. And so a good fleece can cost anywhere upwards of $50, just depending on the breed, quality, and condition. And it really just depends. So I definitely got a good deal with that. I mention all of that because I just want you all to know that a lot of very intentional care and time goes into the pieces that I make, which is the case for a lot of artisans' work. And I really want to help further this understanding for consumers and buyers, because I think it's really important to know the value of quality versus quantity, and why quality is often more expensive. I think so often we look at things to buy and add to our lives, and we look at price tags and don't really understand the reasons behind the numbers on those tags. And in the long run, I believe it's more important and valuable to invest in people and businesses you know, who are upfront about their costs and processes and honest about their practices and labor. Fast fashion is a subject that I'm really passionate about, and if you don't know what that phrase means, I suggest watching the documentary True Cost on Netflix. It's a great start to understanding the dangers of feeding into the consumerism and fast fashion industry of our day and age. But what's more than that is just my passion and love for creating and wanting to share my interpretation of that with other people. And I hope that my work, for me, it embodies a slower mindset in my day-to-day and in my living and in my lifestyle, and being able to be a part of the process from beginning to end like this. And each piece of my knitwear and fiber-related art is just really cool, and it just kind of reflects a mindset I want to carry throughout my life in other areas as well. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have any questions, please shoot me an email. And if you want to check out my work, you can do so at agirlnamedleney.com.